This is News 25 with Deanna O'Donnell and Unette Gentry. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law. Call 727-9900 today for your free consultation. If you need a lawyer, you need Nelson.
Welcome to News 25. We hope you had a blessed Memorial Day weekend. I'm Deanna O'Donnell.
And I'm Unette Gentry. Thank you so much for joining us this newscast on this Tuesday, June 1st.
Well, Las Vegas Metro Police are attempting to identify a young child whose body was discovered early Friday morning in Mountain Springs after a mother mistakenly identified the child as her own, who was on the way to a trip in Utah with his father and brother. The trio was found to be safe, and the search is back on to find out who and what happened to the little boy murdered, found by a hiker off of Highway 160. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has provided a digitally enhanced photo of the young homicide victim. Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department is asking teachers in particular to pay close attention to this photo. The victim is between 8 and 12 years old, 4 foot 11 inches tall and 123 pounds. Anyone with information is urged to call the tip line at 702-828-3521 or 702-828-2907.
And congratulations to all of our local grads. It was the perfect ending to a challenging year for graduating seniors here at Pahrump Valley High School. A record 249 students walked across the stage Friday night as the class of 2021.
To be honest, back in February, I didn't dream that we'd be able to have a traditional graduation. Luckily, everything fell in place, and we made it. We got our kids across the stage. It's the most graduates in the history of Pahrump Valley High School this year, and amazing that we did that during a pandemic. We still did just about everything we would have normally. The only thing we missed were the fireworks because we didn't get a permit in time, because we didn't expect to have a ceremony of this magnitude. Having that mass of folks here to celebrate our seniors, and to see smiling faces and not hide behind the masks, it was phenomenal. What stood out to me the most is just the students in this school. They're kind, they're warm-hearted, they're just a pleasure to work with. And then, most importantly, just the adaptability to manage ourselves through COVID. I mean, it hit society hard, and our kids, we all struggled. We all had our own issues to face and overcome, but our students did that with courage and conviction, and I'm just so proud of them.
And George Campnell is hanging up his principal hat. He accepted a new position within the Nye County School District as Director of Secondary Education, and it appears he will be missed. One graduating senior crashed our interview during the Friday night to give a shout out to the outgoing principal.
As we moved into this,
I'm so sorry. This guy is the best person in the world. Seriously. I couldn't ask for a better principal. He's given me literally a life opportunity.
Thank you. Have a hug.
And you know what's so great is that we got all these graduates who think the same. You've made an impact on all these students' life forever.
Well, I appreciate that, and you're going to make me cry, so thank you for saying that.
Stay! Don't go nowhere. These kids need you.
Keep in touch.
Seriously.
Okay.
And a trial date is now set for a man facing several charges for a domestic incident that happened back in May 2020, which left him with several gunshot wounds in the hospital.
Kevin Heyer was arraigned last week on charges of domestic battery by strangulation, abuse of an older person, attempted murder, 2 counts of assault with a deadly weapon, and attempted murder with the use of a deadly weapon. Deputies were dispatched to an address on Quail Run Road on May 7, 2020 for a domestic disturbance. Heyer was shot during the altercation, reportedly in self-defense. According to a statement from the victim, the incident began when Heyer entered her room while she was in the bathtub. She said that Heyer put his hands around her neck, pushed her head under the water, and attempted to strangle her. 2 family members came to her aid and were able to get Hire to release her. Hire then left the home and retrieved an axe from a tool shed. One of the victims then got a shotgun and pointed it at Hire as he threw the axe at them. He missed the victims but reportedly retrieved the axe and began running at them with the axe in hand, and that is when the victim shot Hire twice. Deputies said that when they arrived on scene, Hire had a 5-foot-long pole in hand. Hire refused to drop the pole and threw it at them before he was finally detained. Hire was then flown to UMC Trauma for treatment of his gunshot wounds. It was also discovered that Hire had stolen a pickup truck from his neighbor, and it was found at the scene. At his arraignment, Hire's attorney, Thomas Gibson, informed the court that Hire had intended to plead not guilty by reason of insanity on all counts charged. He will also invoke his right to a speedy trial. Judge Wonker set calendar call for June 18th, and trial dates are set for July 12th through July 16th.
All right, don't grab that remote. News 25 returns right after this break.
You're watching News 25. Today's news is brought to you in part by Dr. George Leaks, Pahrum's optometrist since 1990, offering full spectrum eye care for children and adults. Call today, 727-8300.
Welcome back to News 25. Walmart is teaming up with the Gap, and HSBC says no to Bitcoin. Boeing is lining up orders for the 737 MAX.
Here's Angela Miles with today's Business First Brief.
Walmart and Gap are growing a new brand together. It's called Gap Home. The brand will offer bedding, bath, and home decor items on the Walmart website. CEO of HSBC is not biting on Bitcoin. He tells Reuters the bank has no plans to launch a cryptocurrency trading desk. The CEO blames the volatility of Bitcoin. Lately, Bitcoin has been making some wild swings. And sources tell Reuters Boeing is making plans to put out 42 of the 737 MAX jets in the fall of 2022. No comment from the jet maker, but we do know Boeing burned through nearly $20 billion during the pandemic of 2020 as airline travel slowed to a crawl and the company grappled with technical issues of the 737 MAX.
Thanks so much, Angela. Turning back now to local news, the Center for Missing and Exploited Children provides a tip that leads to the arrest of a Pahrump man.
Sheriff's deputies were investigating a reference to possession of child pornography. They received an Internet Crimes Against Children tip in April generated from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. The tip indicated that Google became aware of an image that was downloaded and flagged as child pornography. It was a still image, too graphic to describe, of a male sexually abusing a child. The child was sitting on a table and wearing a white shirt with blue patterned cats on it. The tip provided information for the email that was used to download the image belonging to Jordan Carrells. The tip provided IP addresses used to download the image for Valley Electric and Verizon Wireless. A TLO for Carrells revealed that he had a phone number associated with a Verizon Wireless carrier. Investigators made contact with Carrells, and according to the declaration of arrest, he admitted to downloading several images of underage girls. He further advised that he had since bought a new phone. He allegedly admitted that he reviewed child pornography as recent as 1 to 2 weeks prior on his new phone using a website. He further advised that he often views underage girls via the internet on a modeling website that does not show nude children. Jordan Carrells was arrested for possession of visual pornography of a person under the age of 16 and using the internet to control a visual depiction of child pornography of a person under the age of 16.
And a Nye County man with felony convictions is arrested for weapons possession.
Sheriff's deputies were dispatched to a Pahrump address for a report of a disturbance. While en route, dispatch informed the deputies that a male, later identified as Richard Mallour, was busting out the windows of a motorhome on the property. Once arrived, deputies observed 2 males walking southbound on Lola. A stop was conducted at Lola and White Street with the 2 males. Richard Mallour was identified as the male causing the disturbance at the property. Mallour was asked if he had any weapons with him. He said that he had a taser in his back pocket. It was removed by the officer for safety. When further investigating, it was discovered that Mallour had been convicted of a felon in 2009. He was not to be in possession of any weapons. Richard Mallour was then arrested for possession of a stun gun by a felon.
Well, budgets for the fiscal year 2021-2022 are recently presented to the Board of County Commissioners, and each director presented their wants and needs to the board with an opportunity to answer questions from the commissioners.
Chief Scott Lewis of Pahrump Valley Fire and Rescue made his presentation. The main question commissioners had regarding that budget was the request for overtime. Lewis explained that this number is really an unknown, as the vacancy rate in the fire and rescue department can vary. If they are fully staffed, there may be less of a need for overtime, but if there are vacancies, some employees may need to work overtime depending on the needs of the community. Lewis went on to say that vacancies also occur when other counties are hiring.
For example, if Clark County and Vegas City open up and they have a mass hiring, there's a chance that we may have to have used these monies to augment those people who could conceivably be hired over there. We don't know that's going to happen, but it is certainly something that could happen.
Why would somebody want to get hired in Clark County, in Las Vegas, any of those fire departments compared to here?
Well, for personal reasons, I'm sure, but a lot more money, newer equipment, state-of-the-art facilities. I can think of a lot of reasons. So it depends on who's hiring and how many they're hiring is really what it comes down to. So what we're experiencing getting good quality people is what they're experiencing next door as well. So for example, if Las Vegas Fire Rescue were to open up and say we're trying to hire 75 to 100 people within the next 12 months, they'll hold a series of classes, or they'll hold the opening for application purposes. And that's where a lot of them, they even solicit our guys because, quite frankly, we do a lot with our guys and they're well seasoned, so there's very little training that they have to do with them. They're not hiring new people who have never had experience before. So when they look at our guys, they know the folks over there already, they know people that have already left, and our guys are well trained, so they go in and fit very well into their systems. The benefits to our people is, again, greater pay rates, greater benefits, the brand new apparatus, and the second and none facilities. So there's also the other piece of it is we're a relatively small organization, so it gives them the greater ability to move up the command chain, seek different positions that we just currently can't afford. That's one of the reasons we had to step away from actually holding academies, because that's where we were incurring a lot of monies and our folks training other people to be Fire One and EMT and such like that, and then they would leave. So we have required that they come with certain credentials in order to be hired here. So it's one of the ways we use to save money.
And the sheriff's office talks to the commissioner about their budget right after the break.
You're watching News 25, brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500. News 25, local news you can count on. News is brought to you by Canyon Ridge Periodontics. Give them a call at 702-966-0302.
Well, the Nye County Sheriff's Department appeared before the Board of County Commissioners on May 3rd to present their budgetary request. Sheriff Sharon Morley and Captain David Berukowitz spoke about the need to fill administrative positions that have been lost in the past, state and federal mandated needs, and the $400,000 overtime budget.
During October of 2020, the state of Nevada implemented the National Incident-Based Reporting System, also known as NIBRS, to report crime data to support the national program emphasis on capturing finite crime data. This system requires the capture and documentation of 52 additional fields of information contained within each case file. Formerly, we were providing data through the Uniform Crime Reporting Act, also known as the UCRs. This change has increased our workload fourfold. After polling several Nevada counties, we use Lyon County as an average. Lyon County has 82 deputies generating approximately 480 case files a month and 2 personnel working full-time to report NIBRS data. In comparison, Nye County has 81 patrol deputy positions with 13 presently vacant, although they're in the academy, leaving 68 deputies generating reports daily, which equates to approximately 375 case files a month, with no full-time NIBRS person assigned. In addition, a new unfunded mandate is being considered by the legislature regarding use of force, which will also increase our workload substantially. And we're requesting 2 full admin tech positions to fulfill our mandated needs. The state of Nevada also changed the sex offender registration reporting requirements and increased our responsibilities in relation to sex offenders and the registration by more than 2/3 in regards to when they have to come in and register. They recategorized many of the sex offenders and imposed additional responsibilities for when they needed to be in our office and our staff doing those registrations. That equates to about 600 registrations that our office has to deal with, and with each registration comes compliance checks where we then have to send staff out to verify that the information they give us is accurate to go with their registration. We have a lot of overtime. As you can see this year, we're down substantially. We've tried very hard. With 13 vacancies, it's nearly impossible to run our agency. We have mandated people in on their days off. Some of them are working 6-7 days a week now. Some are working 20-30 hours straight without a break to be able to provide services to the public. At the end of the day, like we put in our backup, there is no guarantee in this business to being able to go off shift. I listened at 7 a.m. at the end of night shift every day this week, and we had a domestic or a home invasion or some crime occurring right at 6:57. So even fully staffed, we are going to incur overtime because we have to go, and our collective bargaining agreements require us to pay them at the end of their shift.
Captain Berukowitz said that the two positions would help the department with their reporting requirements to remain compliant for grants received, as well as future grants and mandated needs. He also said that even if fully staffed, it isn't feasible for the law enforcement business to not have to pay overtime.
Well, early in the pandemic, a large number of those hospitalized for COVID-19 were elderly, but that landscape has shifted dramatically in recent months. Cleveland Clinic's Dr. Michelle Medina says vaccination is likely playing an important role.
We vaccinated a lot of the elderly population, and so we're seeing a decrease in the amount of severe disease and hospitalizations in that group.
According to Cleveland Clinic data, COVID-19 hospital admissions in all age groups are slowly trending downward as vaccine rolls out, but people over 75 have seen the sharpest reduction. Between January and May of 2021, the hospital saw an 88% drop in COVID-19 admissions in people 75 and older. A similar trend was observed in people ages 55 to 75, with a 71% reduction in hospitalizations. In addition, another data set shows 99% of people admitted for coronavirus between January and April of 2021 were not fully vaccinated. Dr. Medina says vaccination efforts are now targeting younger people, but the uptake is slow. She stresses that vaccination is the best way to stop virus spread and stay out of the hospital.
The more that we get people vaccinated, the more people are actually protected, the closer we can get to the end of the pandemic.
Dr. Medina encourages everyone to consider vaccination and reminds us that the COVID-19 vaccine has been shown to be safe and highly effective in all age groups studied so far.
Well, it's time to meet another shelter animal waiting for their forever home. In today's Save a Pet, we meet with Darby O'Donnell, who introduces us to Cherry.
Hi, I'm Darby here at Desert Haven Animal Society, and today we are joined with Cherry. Cherry is a 1-year-old Chihuahua. She is quite a tall Chihuahua. She also has a cone on right now because she did just get her spay done. So she's all ready to go home for her forever home. She's only a year old. She's super friendly, has a cute little personality, runs around, likes to say hi to everybody. She has very beautiful coloring. She's actually like a brownish color, but it has like a little bit of a reddish hue in the sun. So cute. If you want to come and see Cherry or any of her friends here at Desert Haven Animal Society, give them a call ahead of time to make an appointment. 775-751-7020. You can look them up on their Facebook page at Desert Haven Animal Society. Just so you know, Desert Haven Animal Society will be having the Maddie's Pet Project on June 12th and 13th. So all animals here at Desert Haven are 100% free adoption fees. So that includes their spay and neuter, rabies shot, all up-to-date vaccinations, microchipping, and the licensing. So the licensing fee is the only thing that you have to pay for. It is a law. You must get a prompt license for your animal. It is $10. So you can come here and adopt your puppy or kitty or chicken or whatever you want to get for only $10 on June 12th and 13th.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Hi, it's John Kohler having a look outside the KPVM weather window. Man, it's 100 degrees out there, and it'll be like that for the next few days. We'll tell you about all the weather you can expect this next week coming up.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. The splash of cream in your coffee, the dollop of sour cream on your burrito, the melted toasty cheese on your pizza. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Hi, good evening, Nevada. It's John Kohler from the KPVM Channel 25 Weather Studios. Hope you're rested and relaxed after the nice long weekend. We're back. You're back. Everything's good. And boy, did everything get fuego up and down the state. Let's look at those temperatures. 95 degrees pretty much up north, Fernley, Fallon, Carson City, basking in those kind of temperatures. A little bit cooler mid-state, Tonopah, Goldfield, you're looking at 88, 90 degrees. Beatty all the way up to 99. Amargosa breaking the triple-digit barrier at 103, along with Vegas at 104, and making it all look silly as Death Valley at 114. Here on the Paradise Pahrump, a little more pleasant, I don't know, 100 degrees? What do you think? Yes, 100 degrees. Off the high mark today of 101. It's a little bit hot. If you don't have a pool, have a friend with a pool. The sun rose this morning at 5:27 a.m. It's going away this evening just about 8 o'clock, 7:56 p.m. We'll get down to about 73 degrees tonight. That'll feel nice and cool with those breezes coming out of the east-southeast at 7 miles per hour. Got a little bit of humidity and some cloud cover, but coming into the week, well, not too bad, you know. Couple days of clouds, winds kicking up just a smidge. Those temperatures staying above 100 mark until the weekend, and then we push to 15-mile-per-hour winds, and that'll cool us off as we head into the new week with temperatures in the low 90s. That'll seem all right with clear skies. Beautiful summer weather. We're getting close to the longest day of the year, solstice, June 21st. So we'll be seeing a lot of this as we head on into the week. But back to the desk right now. It's Tuesday night with Unette and Deanna.
Thanks so much, John. Yes, and we also need to warn you about an excessive heat warning that starts tomorrow, and it will actually go through Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so be careful out there. Make sure you stay hydrated. Take care of yourself, your pets, your plants, your neighbors as well. And we were all busy this Memorial Day weekend. I know I went to a picnic for my sorority, Delta Sigma Theta, and Omega Psi Phi, our fraternity brothers, and you were at events.
I was at several Memorial Day events. We had 3 of them, and also flag retirement. The humidity out there was just really torturous. And I got to tell you, during this heat warning, we will have all those Memorial Day events and that flag retirement ceremony and so much more on tomorrow night's broadcast. I'm Deanna.
I'm Unette.
Good night.
Good night.